What's up, guys? Welcome into Packers Total Access. My name is Clayton. You can check us out on packernet.com. Find me on Twitter at Packers_access. Joined alongside Jacob in Wisconsin, here to talk Packers on the eve of family night. Man, it got here quick. Really excited to see the Green Bay Packers in Lambeau Field tomorrow, throwing at nets, doing pretty much nothing that really matters, but just getting in front of the hometown crowd is going to be a lot of fun. So we've got an awesome show for you guys tonight. We're going to recap the training camp practice from earlier today. They went a little light today, I guess, in preparation for the family night festivities tomorrow. We're going to give you all the injury updates that came out of over there at the practice facility. We're going to give you the offensive updates, try to keep things organized. We'll show you some Jordan Love clips from that practice. We'll also give you a defensive update, and then we'll just kind of get you guys ready for family night tomorrow night. Before we jump into all of that, if you would, do me a big favor. Let's get this YouTube stuff out of the way. Hit like, hit subscribe. If you're new here, welcome into PTA. We appreciate you making us a part of your evening. Listen, we're not experts here. We're not insiders. What we are fans just like you, and here talking Packers on the daily throughout the season. We'll be giving you in-depth analysis. We'll be giving you pre-game shows, post-game shows, film breakdown, the whole 9 yards. So if you're looking for daily Packers content, make sure you hit sub and hit that bell icon so you're notified every time we do go live. Jacob, how you doing today, bud? How's the weather up there in Wisconsin?
I'm doing all right. If you guys can bear with me, I got the internet thing figured out. Emilio helped me, Clayton helped me, but now I'm working on a very small screen for the next couple days. But I'm just really happy that we were able to figure out what's going on. And hey, what a better way to start out the episode than United Bates celebrating the fact that we had just hit 5,000 subs. He says, let's go. Congrats, fellas. Go Pack, go. I really appreciate you. Clayton, you have anything you want to say about that?
No, I just want to say, Bates, thank you so much for the dono there, the super chat, and thank you for your support. You've been here pretty much since day one, as far as I can remember, and it's so cool that we've created kind of this little community here within the Packers fan base that we keep the toxicity out, and it's awesome when you look in the chat and you see the same people day in and day out. Numbers are growing. There's probably somebody hearing my voice right now that's like, man, I don't know these people. I don't really want to comment. Maybe you're nervous. You don't feel like you belong. We're looking for all newcomers, right? If this is your first time tuning in, man, be vocal in the chat. Just be respectful. That's the main thing we ask is everybody. We try to create an environment where everybody can get along. We can agree to disagree and try to break down what's going on. But, man, 5,000 subs, it got here a lot quicker than I expected. And at the rate we're going to be at 10K in the blink of an eye, and it's off to the races. So, yeah, Bates, thank you for that super chat. Also want to give a shout-out to Josh Vallantingham becoming a member here on YouTube. Pretty sure he's been a member before, probably just re-upped, but thank you so much for joining the PTA posse there. Jacob, it's going to be a good run, man. I'm telling you, we got a lot of good stuff in store for this year. As you just said, you kind of revamped your setup. We're going to be a lot smoother on your end over there. Obviously, Emilio's the tech guru. He's the youngest of the group. Surprise, surprise. He knows how all this stuff works, right? Tim, pretty much our insider, boots on the ground, doing a great job over there at practice and all that. He's out of town at the moment and just does a wonderful job on the drops, obviously. So it's going to be a fun year, man. I'm excited about it. But let's dive into it, man. Let's get into everything that happened today. Actually, let's see here real quick. Kingtron in the chat says, hey, all, I was just looking today and noticed that out of the last 5 Pro Football Hall of Fame classes, we've had a player enshrined in 4 of them. Blessed to be a Packer fan. I didn't even realize that, Jake. I think that's true, isn't it?
Yeah, I suppose that would be, huh? That's crazy.
That's awesome, dude. Absolutely awesome, man. So appreciate the nugget there, Tron. You are the man. All right, let's dive into it, man. Let's start off with injuries here real quick, okay? And you guys know this is going to kind of set the tone for practice, or did set the tone for practice earlier today. And obviously, you want to play it safe. You don't want to get anybody out there at family night that may tweak an injury. Let's just get everybody kind of as healthy as quick as possible. Get the reps in for the players that you need to get the reps in, especially in the preseason, to get to see them go up against other teams in joint practices, the whole 9 yards. So Packers training camp practice number 8. This is Wes Hodkowitz put this tweet out. New did not participate. All right, so these are the guys that sat out for the first time today. Cornerback Nate Hobbs with a knee. Wide receiver Jaden Reed with the toe. Tackle Rasheed Walker with the groin. Offensive lineman Travis Glover with the shoulder, cornerback Kamal Haddon with the hip, defensive line Aaron Mosby with the groin, and wide receiver Sam Brown Jr. with the groin. Other DNPs were Marshawn Lloyd with the groin, Christian Watson obviously with the knee, Colin Oliver still getting healthy with that hamstring, and John Williams with the back injury. I will say this, Jaden Reed did participate today. I think Wes had kind of corrected himself a little bit later in the practice. But when you look at those injuries, Jacob, this is nothing. I think it's awesome, man, that you look around the league. It's not awesome this has happened to the other teams. I'm saying from a Packers standpoint, it's nice to not have any major injuries in camp so far. We've already seen guys on other teams blow ACLs, break legs, everything, the whole 9 yards. So this is really nice here as Coach Lynn says, none of those injuries I'm concerned about long term. I'm not either, Coach. What do you think, Jacob? We're pretty healthy for this time of year, I feel like, man. It seems like every year when we start up camp, somebody goes down the first week or two,
Yeah, I mean, knock on wood right here. I don't want to jinx this whatsoever, but you look at that list. I don't like the fact that Nate Hobbs may be a little bit injured. I don't like the fact, obviously, that Walker. I'll speak for Emilio and say that I hate that Glover has any sort of issue. Kamal Haddon, Aaron Mosley, Sam Brown. A lot of those guys, are they necessarily going to be starters? And on the back end there, not necessarily, but obviously we want everybody to stay healthy. But at this point in the season, going into family night, I do think that we are pretty blessed that we have not had any major types injuries. So consider me happy.
Yeah, I completely agree. Now, the Rasheed Walker thing, that's the one that was really interesting today. Listen, I don't want to create any kind of speculation or rumors that don't, have any truth to them. But the tone I got from some folks was, did he really hurt his groin? Or is this more about, let's get Jordan Morgan some reps, right? And it's important that's another reason why we need to stay plugged in with what's actually going on too, because you could look at just the snap count today if you didn't know about the injury report and think, has Jordan Morgan passed Rasheed Walker at left tackle, right? Not the case. Rasheed Walker had the day off, obviously, with the groin injury. So just something to keep an eye on. I will say this too, man. It's usually hammies that's got us hamstrung, right, Jacob? But this year kind of feels like groins, does it not? Seems like groins are the thing that's the buzzword,
If I had $1 for every time I heard that groins are the problem, I tell you, I'd be a rich man. No, it stinks, but it is, one of those things where, I mean, obviously we saw Jordan Love struggle with that groin injury the back half of the season. It really did limit him. So as much as we're saying it's not a big deal, I hope that it's not going to turn into a bigger deal that kind of snowballs, throughout the season. So right now, let's count our blessings, be, I'd say, optimistically hopeful. Hopefully optimistic, however you want to word it. But I right now, I think that I'm okay with where we are as far as injury wise. And, it is a testament to how Goody and Matt have decided to build this team that even if a certain amount of people go down, which God forbid happens, but if that does happen, we've got guys that are absolutely ready to step in and make some plays.
Yeah, definitely. Jen Wright in the chat said, need the 10 full cap there, Clay. I do. I need to get me one of those worked up for sure.
Holmes, I can make you one.
I bet you've got extra.
I got a few.
Yeah. Holmes MD1 says, I read it as they must give Morgan reps. They probably can't afford to keep Walker next season. So they need to see what they have from Morgan. It's a great point. To me, if I had to put money on it right now, I would say that Rasheed Walker will not be back next year, but you never know what's going to happen because to me, the wild card here, Jacob, and we talked about it a little bit yesterday, is Elton Jenkins's contract is like, if you decide to move on from Elton next year and free up that $20 million in cap space, listen, it could be fudged $2 million here, $2 million, $2 million higher, $2 million lower, depending on how they want to structure the separation if they do decide to move on. However, if you go out this year and Rasheed Walker beats Morgan out for left tackle, he balls out, and you look up and go, you know what? Let's keep Rasheed Walker. Elton Jenkins might be the guy out. He might be the odd man out next year. So you just never know, man. I don't know. When it comes to Jordan Morgan, though, in a perfect world, he would be a better left tackle than Rasheed Walker. We could let Rasheed Walker walk into free agency. We'd be able to get possibly a third-round pick, depending on how the compensation kind of balances out in terms of the comp picks. But, yeah, that's how I would be looking at it, is try to get Morgan as many reps as possible. So,
yeah, I agree.
All right, let's move it along.
What do you think about this question from Coach Glenn real quick? Just because, I think that most people that have listened to this podcast has a pretty good understanding of my position. I've loved Walker since he was the 7th round draft pick that came out of nowhere, since I saw he was a finisher, since I saw that he's actually been a very, very successful pass protector in the NFL. Could he, use some some improvement on his running game blocking. Absolutely. And I think that may be one of the only reasons that the Packers are willing to let him go, is if they see some of these first and second round talent that they have, obviously with Belton and with Morgan, if they can actually slip him in there. I just think that this is a great year for them to, like you said, there's a chess move going on right now, trying to see if Elton is going to be as successful as they hope, and as whether or not, Walker can either keep that position at left tackle, or if another guy deserves to get those reps. And once he gets the reps, then they're comfortable either to move away from Walker, and if not, they might have to make a decision, like you said, with Jenkins. So, I don't think that I don't know. It's an odd situation because everybody knows what everybody else is doing. You know what I mean? Walker knows what's up. Jenkins knows what's up. LaFleur and Halfley knows what's up. The front office knows what's going on. It's just kind of one of those Spider-Man memes where everybody's looking at each other, or like The Office, where they're all the 3 gun salute kind of thing. Like, I don't know who's going
down for this.
I'm not going down for this.
Such a good episode, by the way.
Yeah.
Start the car. Ain't that what she told Jim?
Yes. I want to go home.
Exactly. All right. So Chris the Casual Ian says it makes sense to pay a young left tackle versus an aging center. Love Jenkins too, though. And I think you perfectly put there, Chris. If Elton Jenkins, let's say he propels himself to be a top 3 center this year, I'm okay with them giving him a little bit of guaranteed money, maybe a 1 or a 2 year extension, and keeping him till he's 33. We've seen over and over and over again centers able to play to a little bit older age than other positions on the offensive line. But it really is going to come down to how he performs this year. And that's why Goody is so good at what he does. And Russ Ball too, finagling the salary cap, is you get yourself in a position where you've got options. You can bring Elton back next year. He's under contract, right? You could also move on because the majority of the guaranteed money's gone. So I think it's just a really, really smart way of doing business. Coach Lynn says Ryan would be cheaper. Ooh, look at that mug right there. Remember the PTA posse.
Just saying.
That's what I'm talking about, man. It tastes better out of that mug. Ryan would be cheaper, Coach Lynn says. That's another good point, Coach. And here's what's funny. As I'm reading that, I'm thinking, what if Goody says the hell with it, moves on from everybody next year? He doesn't re-sign Rasheed Walker. He cuts bait with Elton Jenkins. That wouldn't surprise me either. But, yeah, what if you could re-sign Sean Ryan for, say, $4 to $5 million per on a 3-year deal, give him $8 million guaranteed, and he's your center next year? I like my chances with Elton at center over Sean Ryan, at least up to this point, but I wouldn't rule it out, Coach. I think you make a good point. Let's see. Holmes MD1 says, if Jenkins can play center, he's not going anywhere, in my opinion. I like Walker a lot. He's just going to price himself out of Green Bay. I want to agree with that, Holmes, but I expected Zach Tom to get more money than he did.
Yeah.
So there's no way that Rasheed Walker will get more money than Zach Tom, because right tackles are getting paid just as much, if not more, than left tackles in today's game, because what a lot of defenses are doing is putting their best pass rusher on that side over the right tackle, knowing that teams have kind of taken the architectural approach of putting their best pass blocker at left tackle. Well, they've just kind of flipped. I mean, think about where TJ Watt lines up most of the time, right? He's at left edge over the right tackle. Myles Garrett lines up on the right over the left tackle, so that's one there. Obviously, we put Gary predominantly on the left side over the right tackle. You got a lot of Max Crosby plays a lot on that side as well. So the fact that Zach Tom, his cap is going to be so low, I would expect Rasheed Walker to, his contract to be less than Zach Tom's. So when you look at it, you could say, all right, what does Zach Tom's contract look like? He got $30 million guaranteed. What if you gave Sheed $20 million guaranteed? That's one of those where you could turn a 4-year extension into really a 2 if you want to move on. But again, to me, Jacob, it always comes down to precedent, man. When was the last time the Packers paid 4 offensive linemen top money? When I say top money, I mean starter money. It just doesn't happen very often,
It doesn't, and it's because we do such a good job of being that kind of farm team that absolutely builds that team in the draft and through UDFAs and free agency. Like, there's been so many years where guys that are seemingly nobodies, 4th round picks, 5th round picks, 6th round, 7th rounds, guys that are off the street, no-name dudes that all of a sudden in 2-3 years after they're under the tutelage of that Green Bay just organization, they, for whatever reason, I mean, if you had to say one thing about the Green Bay Packers is that they know how to homegrown the offensive linemen. So in a way, like, obviously, You hate to see your favorite players go. I hated watching Clifton go. I hated watching Bach go. I hated watching, enter Corey Linsley, all these guys that have had to go over the years. John Runyon, even. I didn't want him to leave. Like, did he play the way I wanted him to? Not necessarily, but I wasn't ready to cut bait at that time. Thank God I'm not a GM of the Green Bay Packers, right? So I have faith in the system, and if you want to call me a bootlicker or a homebody or whatever you want to say, fine. I'll take that, label it right over my forehead. That's fine with me. But I really do have faith in the Packers and the way that they can absolutely put together the best front five pretty much every year.
Right. And H.E. Soder says, yeah, but the offensive tackle position just reset upwards after Tom signed. That's the thing, especially in-house, Soder. You've got to there's comps that's involved in the negotiations. And Zach Tom's contract was far lower than what the comps suggested. So, again, we should be thanking our lucky stars that Zach Tom's a Packer because he chose to take less money. That's the reality of that whole situation. Now, with that being said, what's the comps on Rasheed Walker, right? And that's how they would approach that negotiation. And just quick little reference here, Spot Track has his calculated market value at $17.8 million average annual salary. Okay, so that's what you could say would average out in terms of just the average contract. Is a very, very basic way of looking at it. And when they break the whole contract down, typically they'll give you a little bit of guaranteed money prediction, and they did not on this specific one. Just going through it, 4 years, 71 million, average salary 17. So they don't give a guaranteed money thing there, but his average prime percentage change compared to Orlando Brown Jr., Cam Robinson, Jordan Mailata, and Walker Little is negative 3.1%, just showing you how he should be far cheaper than those guys. Right now, with that being said, remember the fair market value that we had stamped on Zach Tom. That contract came in way lower. So if you went to Rasheed Walker, let's say by week 7 or 8, and this is breaking precedent in Green Bay, keep that in mind. How likely we'll do that. But if you go to him week 7, week 8, and he's balling out and go, hey, let's get you on the books for $15 million per on a 4-year deal, and we'll give you $20 million guaranteed. It's going to be hard for Rasheed Walker to go, nope, I'm going to try to make it through these next 11 weeks unless we go into the playoffs, even longer than that, without it getting hurt, and then I'm going to test the market. That's why it becomes so appealing to these players is obviously get some guaranteed money, get a little bit of security. And that's what they mean by security for sure. Ron Samuel in the chat says, are the Packers one dominant edge player away from a Super Bowl? I know where you're going with this, Ron.
Uh-oh.
I've gotten hammered with questions all day on Twitter going, Clayton, man, what would you give up for Micah Parsons? What would you give up for Micah Parsons? Boys, I'm just telling you right now.
A ham sandwich and a bag of chips.
It's you're setting yourself up to have a $40 million a year contract for an edge defender, right? And don't get me wrong, it's tier 1 of importance. If we think Micah Parsons so damn good, right? If he's so good, and I say the same thing about TJ Watt. I say the same thing about Max Crosby and all the Myles Garrett, all these guys, right? If they're worth $40 million per, why aren't their teams in the playoffs? You know what I'm saying? Well, I don't even know. Did the Raiders make the playoffs last year? I honestly can't remember.
No.
I don't think they did. Dallas didn't make the playoffs, right? Who else? The Cleveland Browns didn't make the play. You know what I mean? And exactly. Well, the rest of the team sucks. I got that, but does the rest of the team suck because the blueprint you're chasing sucks? You know, and again, why did Dallas fall on their face? Dak Prescott got hurt again, right? You remember that? He was banged up. Okay, why is he banged up? Probably has something to do with the offensive line. What route did Goody take? He went la 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 when everybody said we need to go out and get a big name receiver. We need to go out and get a top edge defender, right? And what did he do? He went out in free agency and got an offensive lineman, an interior offensive lineman. You know what I mean? He spent a second-round pick on Anthony Belton that a lot of people scoffed at. So, again, there's a reason those teams aren't ever in the playoffs or haven't been here lately. And the Packers just steady Eddie. Their stock just slowly keeps rising. Guys, we were listed by Fox NFL as the number 2 team in the NFC. Think about that.
I was just going to say, too, Clinton, today, I don't remember which ESPN analyst or writer, whatever it was, they listed the top NFC quarterbacks. And guess what? I think I saw a comment that I highlighted from Afam here where he said, "Yep, have the powers shifted to the NFC with Jaden Daniels in Washington?" Well, I'll tell you what, I don't remember the exact way that they had the rankings, but the number one ranking I remember for sure because it was Jordan Love, and it wasn't just some Joe Schmo. It was like an actual guy that had a full on segment about it. I didn't have a time, obviously, I was at work. I'm blessed to have the ESPN. I got like literally 25 TVs that are on constantly going, so I get to kind of glance while I'm working. But it was I stopped for a couple seconds and I just looked at it and I yelled to my buddy Michael, who's a coworker who's a diehard Vikings fan. I went, look at that right there, because he is just talking about how Jordan Love was, whatever, it wasn't the guy. And I'm like, ain't that something? I think Jaden Daniels is number 2. I think they had Baker in there. I believe Jalen Hurts was number 4 or 5, and then I think maybe Dak or something like that was in there. But to me, I really do think that there's not enough respect on Jordan Love's name, and this year people are going to understand why.
Yeah, and here was a clip that was put out by Bill Huber, and just watching him move around, it's going to be a slow motion one. Look at the footwork. Footwork. Our boy looks healthy. That knee's good to go. And again, just an absolute dime piece right there into the net. Bang.
I love the casual duck by the coach. Like, all right.
And they have them standing there too, so they're in the throwing lane, right?
Right,
That's
exactly.
another thing they do. But again, let's watch it from the beginning. Just watch the feet. Watch the feet. Clean footwork, square up, step into the throw. I love his overhand too, man. You notice the way he throws. He could change arm angles, but his overhand delivery is just, I mean, it looks flawless right now in camp. And it's camp. It's different when you got a bunch of hog mollies running at you, right?
Hey, can I ask you a question? Because obviously you would know this being a baseball guy. So I remember I randomly had this one coach, and I was just over hearing. I used to play fullback too, so I was listening to the quarterback's coach talking to my quarterback, and he was talking about how when a baseball throws, they want that hand to go across their body, whereas with the football throw, they want it to almost go completely over the right side. If they're a right-hand thrower, they want it to completely go underneath or basically skimming that right hip. Is that something you've ever heard of? Or
everybody teaches it a little bit different. The big difference between throwing a baseball, it depends on if you're in the field or if you're actually pitching. I feel like you're probably referring to pitching. With pitching, yes, you want to follow through, drive off your plant leg, and come all the way across the body. What we would say ear to hip. Your hand should go from your ear down to your hip, your opposite hip. With Jordan or with any quarterback, it's kind of like throwing a slider in baseball. When you throw a slider, your arm angle has to come sideways to get the spin, right? So the big thing is index finger on the ball, just a good square base. Watch his base, and this is what this drill is designed to do. Fade left, square up, look at him, open the hips up.
Yeah,
it's perfect. So yeah, I think everybody probably teaches a little bit different. And there's a reason. I always tell people this too, especially I was working with my niece the other day in the front yard. She's playing softball. Let me tell you, she's gonna be a damn baller, dude. She was hitting the ball at the tee like a damn guy. I'm just telling you. I was like, oh, I wasn't expecting it either. My wife was like, will you go out and work with Lydia a little bit today? Yeah, we'll get out there. Watch her hit on a tee. I was like, oh, let's go. So, the first thing I tell people, especially when it came to baseball, is the worst thing you can do as a coach is just get a kid and completely change their swing.
Yeah.
Right. There's a reason Steve Young's throwing motion looked different than Brett Favre. There's
Phillip Rivers.
Yeah, exactly. Phillip Rivers, the way he threw a football, it looked like someone's grandmother throwing a football.
It really did.
When it leaves his hand, you think it's never going to get there, and it always got there. So, yeah, it's been interesting, man. But again, with Jordan, though, to me the mechanics look really, really good. I think I've got another clip here too. Yeah, here's a couple of clips. This is from Ryan Wood here. Go give him a follow by Ryan Wood over on X. Hopefully we can go full screen here. Gotta watch this music here. You never know.
Copyright.
Yeah. So look at our boy. Fake the handoff.
Nice.
Right? He's gonna step up, open up, throw to the one.
Dude, that is clean. That is just clean, man.
You can tell that he has worked on the footwork this offseason. I mean, it does. It looks smooth.
It's a weird. Sorry, it's a weird observation. Like right now, it feels like he has better control on his lower body. And if you guys remember, towards the end of Rodgers' career, into that 2019 to 2020 season, into the 2021, which I believe he had wasn't that the back-to-back MVPs again, where he
Think
talks
so.
about how he put more emphasis on his lower body. He squatted more. He understood that that's where the torque, that's where the mass amount of power from his throws was generating from his lower body. And don't get me wrong, Aaron Rodgers made a career out of throwing backhanded off the back foot, twisting around, not even with any plant foot, whatever the case may be. He was that type of gunslinger. But as he gets older, he had to realize that you have to have that full range of motion to really get that gunslinger in there. And it's nice that Jordan has probably understood that, hey, while I do have that natural arm strength, if I really want to be a pinpoint accurate quarterback, I have to be able to put my feet in the ground, lock in, have a great delivery. And right now, and also I love that play fake, dude. He just looks like he's really, really ready to go, man.
Yeah, definitely. Let's see. I think we got another shot here. Get
that
this
music out of there.
Yeah, I think this is him. This may be, this should be J Love again. Let's see what this one is now. Another play fake.
Yep.
So that's just kind of throwing. Now, you right there, right? You could see Coach Lynn will tell you, I'm sure, in the chat, mechanics aren't perfect there. See how he kind of jumped to open up the hip rather than stay square, stay grounded, let that thing rip. But when you got the arm talent he's got, man, and
they
again,
call that a crow step? Is that what they used to call it? Like a
little crow hop.
Yeah.
To me, it looks a little bit in between what Jordan or what Aaron would do. Aaron would just kind of twist his hips, and that's what he talked about, generating power from the ground.
Yeah.
Right. Watch him kind of see how he kind of opens his hips up to throw there. It's still, and again, when you got elite arm talent, you can do that type of stuff. And that was the big thing that Greg Cosell said about Jordan Love was like, listen, the kid has elite. This is Greg Cosell. This ain't Clayton talking. The kid has elite arm talent. The question is he going to be the same player week in and week out, day in and day out, when things don't go his way? Is he going to be the same quarterback going into the facility every day and working on the fine details? Because he's got the arm, and you see it, man. I mean, it looks so effortless, you know?
Right.
Yeah.
I agree.
There you go. Yeah, Coach Lynn's still working on off-platform throws. And again, that's the thing, right? What's that tell us, too? Are we going to be seeing a little more boot action from under center because now he's healthy? That would make a lot of sense to me, I believe. So,
Yep.
yeah. All right, let's move it along here. Up next, this was pretty cool. Mike Spofford, he's been crushing it in camp with the updates. Make sure you guys are following him at Mike Spofford. Double play action from Love, then quickly sets his feet and fires to Golden on the crosser. Well executed. So Matthew Golden, and I think I've got a clip here. I just wanted to mention that was during team, and I'm kind of bouncing in and out of team here, and then we're going to show some individual drills as well. But Matthew Golden, Jacob, he keeps popping, dude. Like, everybody's talking about it. Anybody who's attending practice is like, yeah, this kid don't look like a rookie. He does not look like a rookie. Look at the back shoulder fade and then grab it off the inside. Yep. And the big thing that we've seen on the college tape for Matthew Golden is the strong hands, catch point. Like, he's he never panics when the ball's in the air. Does that not look like a throw that we would have thrown to Romeo Doubs a couple years ago? So it makes me wonder. I know he's going to be Z most of the time, that speed Z. And I'm not saying we should put Romeo Doubs on the bench. Romeo Doubs might be our best receiver. That could be the case. But when you see catches like that, why not slide him into the X when Rome isn't on the field, you know?
Absolutely. And I mean, you can't argue with the way that he's came in and splashed. It's honestly, I'll be completely honest. I've said it before, but I had no real high hopes for him. I really didn't. I didn't see it on tape. And it's just because I think I didn't want to. It was one of those guys. I've talked to you guys about how I'm always rooting for the underdogs. I didn't think he was going to reach to us in that draft. I did not think that Matthew Golden would be available. So I really didn't do a lot of tape. I didn't do a lot of research. I thought that Isaiah Bond was the better one in Texas. All this rubbish that I now know is stupid. And now I look at this guy on field, on tape every single day. What do we complain about last year with oh, sorry, I didn't mean to take you down, Affam. Oof. What did we talk about last year that we complained about with our wide receivers? It was the fact that they weren't consistent. We had so many drops. We had so many miscues. We had so many things that made Jordan and our whole offense look bad, even though we were actually a pretty damn good offense when all things were considered at the end of the year. You imagine now if we've shored that up and we got a guy like him that understands the assignment. The game doesn't seem too fast or too big for him. And I really do, like Clint's talking about, he's got great body control. He's got great, adjustment in the air. He seems like just like what Coach just said, literally right there. I'm very, very high on him. And like I said, I'll tell you this, he's catapulting up the ranks in the fantasy drafts where he was going neck and neck with Jaden Reed. I think that the hype that is coming out of camp is absolutely giving him some draft stock that's shooting sky high right now. So if that tells you anything.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Again, I've been very impressed with him. I'm so used to trying to curb the enthusiasm when it comes to rookie wide receivers, but Matthew Golden has won me over. Here's one too, Jaden Reed in the back of the end zone. This is gonna play tricks on your mind here, okay? Jaden Reed's in the background back here. And you're going to want to look right here because the camera, try to focus on Jaden Reed, okay? And it's going to be love to Reed. This is Malik throwing to Dobby on the front side here. But watch the back and look at Reed's hands right here, right? Just the way he's catching the ball out. You know what I'm saying? Like, to me, that's the other thing. You get a player like Matthew Golden into camp, and all of a sudden all these guys start – it's almost like you just need one dude to tear down the wall to get away from the body catches. Not that Jaden Reed was ever a body catcher, but it just seems like everybody's playing with strong hands right now, for sure. AFAM in the chat says takes a lot of pressure off of Jaden Reed. The whole wide receiver group gets better. That's very well said. Very well said. We got Emilio joining us now. Emilio, we're just in here drooling over the practice footage from earlier today, man. How you doing?
Good. It looks great. I love that. What's that? A deep return there at the end, backside of the end zone. I like that. You got to practice it, got to rep it. But no, yeah, I think it's a great point. Jaden Reed had a lot on his plate last year. We was getting the ball in triple coverage, so let's try to drop it down to maybe double coverage for him, and then single here and there, and then I think that's just going to really open up the offense in general. But yeah, nice little return route there.
Yep. And Jacob, we got another tweet here. I'll pull up real quick. It was from Mike Spofford, and it was about Jaden Reed. I want to get your take on Reed and what we might be looking to expect this year. Reed makes a circus catch in traffic, grabbing the deflected pass as he's falling to the ground, gets a big cheer from the Nitschke Field crowd for that one. We seen it all year last year with Jaden Reed. It's a few loud, whiny fans on X, on Twitter, on all social media made it sound as if Jaden Reed was just a horrible wide receiver. You can't be a bad wide receiver and finish with the highest passer rating when targeted amongst receivers in the league. Like it was unbelievable, his stats. How many times did we see him go and make a catch contested? The crosser from left to right where he goes up over a defender where Jordan just kind of chucks and ducks to him, makes a play on it. The one against I'm trying to think of who it was it Houston or LA, triple coverage. And he brings that pass down. That's something Jaden Reed can do, Jacob.
That was LA, wasn't it, Amelia, where they just threw up that prayer and he caught it in the I think it was the left end zone corner.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, he Bird is, I'll be since Tim's not here, I'll be the advocate for Bird. The dude has just done nothing but be an absolute pro since he came into camp. And his first year I thought it was a great splash first year. Like you said, just these kind of miserable Packer fans that want to find anything to bitch about. They're going to sit here and say that Reed took a step back. We've went through the numbers. He didn't.
He got better every.
He improved literally, and it wasn't the fact that he took a giant leap and blah blah blah. Well, guess what? There's a lot of different variables as to why that maybe didn't happen. With all the variables, with Love being hurt, with his knee, with the foot, with the groin, with everything that happened through the season, the fact that we had such a wide receiver room, he still improved in almost every statistical category that he could. I really do feel like as well coming into this next year, we went through the propagated BS drama that was it Adam or what am I trying to say? Golden Boy, what's his name?
Matthew.
No, not him. The insider, NFL insider, Schefter.
Oh.
He tried to create that drama, absolutely, and I was really proud of the way that Jaden Reed just kind of stomped that out, like it was a fire getting out of control. He just said no, and it was, if I remember correctly, because it's a little fuzzy, I believe it was just basically a conversation with the new agent to him, like just saying like here we are kind of thing. It just really solidified the fact that he understands what it is to be a Packer. He doesn't let the media convince him to start saying stupid stuff and try to be like, look at what's going on with Micah Parsons, with Trey Henderson, with all these guys. Insert Terry McLaurin, any kind of wide receiver that's here that's just kind of not necessarily making the team better. They're trying to make themselves and their contract better. Mm-hmm. That's not what Reed did. It's not what he does. It's not what I think he's going to do. He's just been keeping his head down, understands that, yeah, Goody saw that, that wide receiver room wasn't up to snuff last year. It really wasn't. We had too many drops. We had too many miscues. So what did they do? They went and got Savion and Matthew Golden in the first round. And, I think that a guy like Reed, he's not going to be huffing and puffing. He's going to come back to camp and he's going to say, all right, I'll show you why I need to be number one.
Exactly, Jacob. And to that, he was the one that called the meeting at the lockers, right? So he was the one that said,
in
"Hey, boys,
Pittsburgh.
we need to square this away ASAP. Like, there's not even time for Monday to roll around. The coaches need to get through the film. No, we need to figure it out now." Absolutely love that he just brings that mentality and take a little off his plate so that you can give him more. And I think that's obviously what we're trying to shoot for, what we can go after. But I do think that Matt's going to be able to keep scheming these guys open. I think if we get all of our talent out there, we're going to be in great shape.
Yeah, and it's funny, too. We're sitting here talking about Matthew Golden. We're talking about Jaden Reed. We haven't even hardly mentioned Romeo Doubs. Watch Romeo right here at the forefront, okay? Look at this little route right here. They're going to go slow motion with it, too. Look at his foot.
Look at this coach. Oh, I got him. Oh, no.
And look, slipped. And notice as he's grabbing his balance, watch his head. When he players are going to slip, it's going to happen. He slips and watch his head. As soon as he slips, watch him get the head up. Look, like he's preparing for the catch, even though he's trying to get his. I
love that he still sold it with like his head going. I mean, he's digging that route. Absolutely. No, I'm going. This is an out route. This isn't whip. This is a whip. Yep.
What would you call that, Emilio? Would you call that a pivot or a whip or both?
I call that one a whip. The other one was a return, I would say. But it could be a pivot. I'm at coach. I guess you tell me which one would you rather say? If it's coming in, is it maybe a pivot and then a whip's going out? And
I've heard it said whip in, pivot out, right? And look, here's Coach Lynn, nut route. I'm telling you, everybody calls it something different, right? So we've always said, whip in, pivot out. But
see, that's what I'm saying. And coach right here, whip is out, and then his nut route. I mean, hey, whatever works for you, as long as everyone knows
inside. It's hilarious, man. So again, that's why it's important to get the terminology down to the current coaching staff and this and that. So yeah, it's just and I try not to get too caught up in all those details. We could just all, you know what I mean? Like, hey, if you call it this, I call it that. As long as you specify this is a whip in or a pivot out or a pivot in or a whip out.
As long as everybody on the team knows. Because, I mean, you could be calling it out there, on the field, and it's like, hey, these guys are thinking it's out. I honestly think that coach is Jacob when it's like 3 o'clock, 2:59, 3 o'clock, and everybody starts heading towards the lunchroom, for dinner, and it's like, oh, lost them.
Yeah. AFAM's not even listening to what we're saying. He's just watching Malik Willis back there throw. He said he looks like Joe Montana back there. Look at this.
Look at that.
I am excited to see a little Malik Willis in the preseason. And I want to ask you guys that real quick. We'll just let this roll in the background because it's so beautiful. Obviously, family night tomorrow night's going to be all over the joint, right? I never know what they're going to do. I don't think they ever know what they're going to do until they get there. Now, with that being said, preseason, how do you think this is going to shake out? Does Jordan Love play in the preseason, Jacob? Does he play at all? Do you wait till the last game of preseason? Do you get his time in early? And then let's start with that question. Do you think he's going to play? Yes or no?
I don't think he will play. I would think that they're going to use the team scrimmages. Thank you,
Patrick Bloom with the super chat says, "Whip it good."
Yeah. Have you guys ever seen the campaign?
No. What's the campaign?
You haven't seen the campaign with Will Ferrell and Zach Galifianakis?
Oh, that sounds great.
Oh yes. No, I have. Yeah, I have. Yeah.
All right. Is it whip it real hard? It's a quote. You got to watch it. I honestly hope they don't play him, and I hate saying that, but I want him to get the most out of the scrimmages or the inter team practices. I just don't want to go into another season. I mean, I'm just so gun shy now with. I really didn't enjoy the fact that we went to Brazil for the first game. I just thought that was just an absolute. I haven't talked about how much I hated that. Like, I don't think I did. And we went there, and what happened? The field was in crap shape, and Jordan basically screwed his whole season for that. And great, we got a bunch of guys in Brazil that now wear green and gold that already did. I don't want to do that anymore. I don't want to pander to any more of these kind of like, well, we need ratings in the preseason or whatever the case may be. If he needs to play, Matt LaFleur will play him. If he doesn't need to play, if he thinks that he's good, don't do it. Don't risk it. We're past the days of old where like you play your quarterback on the third preseason for a quarter and then the fourth preseason for 3 snaps. And, it's just whatever you think that we need to do, let's do. Apparently last night, the Chargers did have a lot of their offensive starters in that first series, only for a few plays. They even had like their star Omari and Hampton went out and had a couple, honestly, really great runs. And I will say this, Isaac Tesla, everyone kind of scoffed at me. Everybody kind of scoffed at me. I'm telling you, that white boy is going to be something in this league, all right?
Anytime you have to specify someone and
Hey.
say they're a good player, I'm just saying, Jacob, it sounds like a little premeditated.
We got a chance.
My take on J Love playing, I would say one drive the first game, maybe a quarter for the second.
I'd be cool with that.
And then maybe a half for the third. But you still want to
get
a full
half.
I mean, if he needs it, yeah. What you're playing football now, the season starts, now. If there, there's a chance of everything happening, but if you need reps in game, you have to get them, even if it's against. You need to get different looks, like Matt was talking about. Just seeing the defense ran something different, right, and then it put everybody into a teaching lesson. I think some of that's got to get on the tape.
What about the fact, though, that our defense seems to be so clearly ahead of our offense? And I'm not saying that as just being like, a homer type guy. I'm saying that it sounds like the defense is firing at all cylinders. I don't know if we can get into it later, but Emilio, did you get a chance to listen to Zir Stackhouse's press conference today? Come on, dude.
I know. I was late. I'm sorry.
Can I bring it up real quick, Clayton? Is that all right?
Yeah, well, actually, let's wait till we get to the defensive side if you don't care.
Okay.
I'm excited about it. We're going to do that next. I promise.
What I would say really fast to that, Jacob, would be, but the defense is supposed to be winning right now in early, preseason. The defense has to be winning that. And for, the defense, you're also not tackling the offensive guys to the ground. So you're, I think it was Mike that you listened to, but Spocker was saying,
can't even do the stiff arms.
Right. Yeah. You can't do the stiff arms. If you're punching out the football, you're only focused on punching out. You don't have to focus on wrapping up right now. So you're losing a little bit there, but no, that would be it.
Let me give a quick shout out here. Clint, the armchair quarterback. Thank you so much, buddy. Just gifted 10 Packer fan total access memberships here on YouTube. So we really, really appreciate the support there, buddy. So 10 lucky viewers just got automatically entered into the giveaway here for Sunday, which is going to be an autographed Luke Musgrave rookie card. Right on time, too. He's had a pretty good week. Hardy the Prophet with the super chat says, coming to you live from the Hall of Fame weekend. I'll be tagging the show in pictures from the parade and the enshrinement ceremony tomorrow. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Hardy.
Hardy, appreciate you. What we'll probably end up doing tomorrow, just so everybody knows, we're going to be doing a day show tomorrow. Because I'm going to be at Bristol Motor Speedway tomorrow night. Now, if the guys want to do a show, I can set it up, and you guys can do a live stream during family night. I'm good with that. I'm going to leave it up to you guys, and we'll decide after the show tonight. But Hardy, we look forward to getting those clips, man, and we'll definitely show them on the program here. We really, really appreciate you, man. And also a shout out to Patrick, who just gifted 1 Packer fan total access membership. Thank y'all for keeping the lights on around this silly little show here. Y'all are awesome. So just want to show, this is a quick clip. Tight ends working on footwork, the toe drag swag here, if you will, right? And Luke Musgrave, guys, he's starting to heat up a little bit, they're saying, right? So I'm excited to see him. Now, the question is, back to what we were talking about with preseason, the reason I was asking about J-Love, what about some of these other players, man? You know what I mean? Like your Tucker Crafts, your Luke Musgraves. Do you feel like Luke Musgraves should get significant playing time in the preseason, knowing that he's kind of gotten banged up in the past? Because that's kind of a tough sell for me right there, man. It is.
I personally would like to kind of put the bubble wrap around him just to give him a fighting chance. To him, I kind of look at 2 players right now that, people talk about Christian Watson being AKA Mr. Glass. I hate that. I will fight back on that with my every being. And if you wanted to pull that moniker and throw it on someone, I think it'd definitely be more like a Marshawn Lloyd / Luke Musgrave right now. And don't get me wrong, both those guys have went through terrible injuries. Like Luke Musgrave played with a lacerated kidney, if I'm not mistaken, and finished the game, and then went through a bunch of, other kind of minor tweaks and injuries. And obviously the same thing with Marshawn Lloyd, but with Musgrave specifically, I remember, wasn't he taken in the second and then Kraft was the third, if I'm not mistaken, right?
That's right. Musgrave was second. Kraft was third.
I had real high hopes. That was such a really high talent tight end draft that I never in a million years thought. I think that was the most shocking thing I've ever seen, that we went 2 tight ends back to back, the second and the third round. I remember and I was a big Tucker Kraft guy. So when we got Kraft, that was when my fandom of him started. But I really thought that Musgrave was going to absolutely be a speed demon, more kind of like along the lines of like a Dalton Kincaid that they have in Buffalo, which also he hasn't came to fruition whatsoever. But I just think that Musgrave has every single intangible and tool and skill set to be that freak kind of split out tight end. And if he is healthy, it's just another guy. Like, who are you going to guard on this offense, guys? Who are you going to try to pinpoint? There is just too many weapons. It's simply too good.
You got anything else on the tight ends there, Emilio? You good, man?
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be opposed to playing Musgrave for a little bit. Just get his feet wet, get a couple reps in there. You know, he wants to work on his blocking. Let's get him out there in a couple of those. You know, where you got to reach, maybe put him in that flyer. Matt was saying he's using him a lot in that spot. So just a few reps, I guess, if we're worried about the injury. But I feel like he's a gritty kind of guy. Even if he is a little banged up, he's going to want to fight through. So
got it. Good stuff. All right, that's going to do it for hour one. For those of you listening on the pod, we'll see you on the other side for hour two. We're going to break down everything that happened on the defensive side of the ball at camp practice today. We appreciate y'all.
For those of you listening on the pod,
welcome into hour two. Emilio, man, doing his best Tim impersonation. I like it.
Trying.
So, Quay Walker, let's lead it off with this. And actually, Jacob, I'm going to play this in the background. Talk to everybody about what you were talking about with Nazir Stackhouse. If you guys haven't seen it, there's a video on YouTube, right, where they're interviewing him, and he's talking about the Ball King and all that good stuff. Jacob, you take it away, man. Tell us what they're referring to with the Ball King.
Yeah, I really wish Emilio would have seen this because I think he would have absolutely loved it. So if you go to the Packers' actual official YouTube page, channel, whatever you want to call it, look at the Nazir Stackhouse interview. It's about 6 minutes long, around the 3-minute mark. They'll ask him, they were talking about how, first of all, he brings up how the 43, the differential that we talked about, how the Washington Redskins did it, I believe in like 1984. That same year, Mark Murphy had 9 interceptions, which has absolutely helped that be an insane record that still has not ever been broken. So they said that's not just a number. We're actually talking about that. We are getting each other so hyped about that number that they want to make that a reality. You know, reach for the stars, you just might grab one. I think Michael Scott said that or something like that. And that's the mentality that they have. And it's not just the fact that they actually have like these lawfully unrealistic expectations and they just say that. So Coach Wendell, who is now considered the Ball King, he started off talking about people, how they have, before they do the coaches meetings, he gets on stage, he'll show film of what they did in practice, who had good reps, who had bad reps. Then they'll show old school players like Peanut Tillman, old schools like Charles Woodson, guys that absolutely were freaks at being able to absolutely punch the ball at the right time, right moment. Nazir went so far as to say that they went to the point now where he's got a siren where he'll, sound the alarm anytime there's a turnover. And it's progressed to the point where there's 3 basically GMs, basically fantasy GMs. They have Quay Walker, Rashawn Gary, and I want to say there was another one I can't remember off the top of my head here, but they have GMs who they picked.
Quay was one.
Quay was one, and Rashawn was one. I can't remember what the other one. It's probably X, something like that. Where they have drafted players. So they all have teams competing against each other, where they're having like basically fantasy football style scoring, where they have everything from deflections, knockouts, tackles for loss, scoop and scores, all that kind of stuff. And he's like, it makes it more fun than any other coach I've ever been around. And he talked about it's a game within a game, but they also said that they understand why they're doing it. It makes them competitive within each other, but they also are literally honing and sharpening that absolute edge that they're going to take into the games, of the fact that, we took the ball away quite a bit through the air. They were very disappointed in the fact that we didn't get enough punch outs, enough fumble recoveries. I would honestly, if I was a betting man, which I am, I would put some good money down on that. They are going to at least be a 20 plus, at least, differential turnover this year, just because they are coaching it into them to a point where it's not just guys talking to a bunch of dudes that aren't listening. There's guys absolutely every day reiterating the fact that this is going to make our team better. And these guys are so competitive and having so much fun with it that it's become not a job. It's becoming like, it's like me and you and Clayton, if we were all going to play like Madden right now, you know what I mean? Like, and it was for like money, but not just money, but respecting rights and kind of like bragging rights. And if we could carry that into a tournament where all of us could be more successful, it just seems like it's the perfect way. I've never seen a coaching staff ever do this in the history of the Green Bay Packers, or honestly any other team, where they have a game within a game within a game,
Holmes MD1 says 43 forced fumbles this season is the goal.
Built to ass.
There you go. All right. So, Emilio, what do you think? And plus, you comment on this Quay Walker video before I take it down too. My man is looking healthy, boys. Watch the ankle. The ankle was what was bothering him, right? They got that thing cleaned out. Watch the ankles, and you'll see him kind of Watch him spring off of it after he punches. Bang, bang, out. Looking good, Emilio.
Dude, look at Welch. Welch just goes backward. Look at that.
That's it. The defense, your speed comes from the middle. I've talked about that before. The linebackers are going to be where the speed comes from. We got Coop. We can get Quay flying around too. We're going to be in business. I think that, love that his ankle's in good shape, and he just has so much power when he's coming downhill like that. Getting off blocks. He's not afraid to stick his nose in there. I'm ready for it. But yeah, no, Jacob, to that point, all these guys are competitive. They wouldn't be here if that wasn't it, right? So why not turn it into a competition of already, hey, I'm fighting this dude right over here on my team. He could be on my team. He could be on the other team, but we're both fighting for a roster spot. All right, I'm going to go out there and try to – if my score is going to help me, if whatever – because all those points you're scoring are benefits to the team. And that's, just things that you need to be doing anyway. We'll just, let's make it a little fun.
Yeah, I do the same thing at the office real quick. I incentivize them. At the end of the night, we have a competition. We dump out the buckets of dollars, and whoever wins, I steal the money, though.
Heard it from man right here.
I was going for this one, Emilio.
Pay that man his money.
We get it at the same time. Holmes MD1 says, I'm looking forward to Stack becoming a modern grave digger. We got a little bit more on him here in a minute. Listen, I've seen some people tweet out he's running with the ones a little bit. I've seen others saying he solidified himself with the twos. Regardless whether either one of those are true or both at certain points of the practice, he's rising up the depth chart. There's no doubt about it. Like that, they're looking at Nazir Stackhouse and going, "Holy cow!" Because the dude, I'm telling you, man, he's a grown ass man. And Jacob, that video that you sent me that you were just talking about, how excited he is. You could tell he's one of those guys that he's going to pick the room up. And it's not fake. It's just like this childlike faith, exuberance, just having fun. And he was all excited about the scoring system. Did you actually watch? You got to watch a little bit of it? Yeah. Watch the whole thing. Yeah.
Didn't that kind of just get you? Like, I've never seen that type of coaching ever. Yeah. I've never even seen anything like it.
And you got to be able to connect with the thing that reminded me of was Nathaniel Hackett and the Gold Zone.
Gold Zone. Yeah.
And the reason it doesn't matter how excited the coaches are, it doesn't matter how excited the fans are. It's how are the players going to respond. And to see Aaron Rodgers respond to the Gold Zone the way he did, right. Emilio, he looked like a little kid. He was so excited about it. He's like, he comes in with this and this is what Aaron said, this absolutely ridiculous gold member. Was that what he called him? Gold member, Goldfinger or something, character. And Coach Lynn, I love gold.
I like gold.
Absolutely awesome. So, and I'll say this too. When it comes to the players kind of embracing that, if they embrace it, right, and take it from the coaches and run with it, it's going to bleed into the fans too. Like Jacob's been excited about. I heard Jason Wilde, he's writing an article, and I can't wait to read that, right, on the Ball King, right? And you said the siren, Jacob. Every time they have a takeaway, right, there's going to be a siren.
Yes, sir.
Get that in Lambeau Field. When they do it in game, have it blaring over the speakers and just have it become a thing. And listen, I know we got some folks that want to enjoy the game and they want things to be kind of, hey, sit down, see all this. Blast that damn siren as loud as you can, dude. They should be able to hear it all the way down in freaking, I don't know, name some random Wisconsin.
Chicago. Town. They should hear it all the way in Chicago.
There you go. So, I think it's a great thing, and it's just something to help create a little bit more identity for the Packers. So, all right. Coach.
And you get a little bit of that college feel, right, Clay?
Honestly,
you get the whole crowd. I mean, and that would get me hyped up in the crowd. Are you kidding me? You get that siren going off, we get a turnover, everyone's screaming.
Yep. Just steal the when they do in hockey, just that siren right there. That'd be perfect.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
You know what I mean?
And this is a cool shot here. Mike Spofford said Xavier McKinney always first in line with the Packers safety drills. We're talking about these youngsters coming in, right? And we talked about Edgerrin Cooper kind of rising, throughout the season and becoming a star. And I'm excited to see year 2 for him. But kind of lost in the shuffle. What started this whole thing was Xavier McKinney. Jeff Hafley and Xavier McKinney have got this defense rolling in the right direction, and now you got everybody else at the bottom side of the roster, like a Nazir Stackhouse that may not even make the roster. Who knows, right? Right now it's looking pretty good, though, and it's early. But you got everybody kind of embracing this culture. And what I love in Xavier McKinney, he's not a real fiery guy. He's not a dude that's rah, this and that. He's just going to go out there and take the damn ball away from the quarterback, right? He's going to pick passes off, and he's kind of that, I don't want to say quiet leader, but he's that calm demeanor leader, you know what I mean, in the locker room on the defensive side of the ball. And then you got Edgerrin Cooper, who's just this young freaking stallion out there running around doing things that we haven't seen a stack backer do in Green Bay in a long, long time. It's exciting for this defense, man. It really is. And another youngster here. Go ahead and read that if you want. No, don't read that, Jacob. What the hell's wrong with you, man?
Stand up, Emilio.
You got to be careful when you tell him to stand up. We do have the same shirt.
We're wearing the exact same shirt. Yeah, we planned it.
You'll have that.
Both of y'all shop at Baby Gap. That's all. All right. Got that Schmedium on tonight. Both of you do. Ryan Wood tweeted out Pacers rookie. I think he meant Packers, by the way. Pacers rookie Barryn Sorrell gets a sack on Malik Willis, and Rashawn Gary celebrates with him after the play. Good burst into the backfield. Another player we're talking about. Barryn Sorrell, I try not to get like overly excited about anyone who's drafted out of the first 3 rounds because it's like, okay, this is going to be a project. But damn, if Goody can't hit on 4th-round picks, so boys. Talk about Zach Tom being a 4th-round pick. There was like 3 or 4 we listed off on one show. They were all, was Romeo Doubs a 4th-rounder? Am I thinking right, guys?
Pretty sure. Yep.
Yeah. There were several of them. He's got kind of a track record.
Wasn't Bach a 4th-rounder?
I think Bach was a 4th. Now that would have been.
Yeah, it would have been.
That would have been, Ted. But nonetheless, there's something about their scouting department, Emilio, where 4th round's kind of a sweet spot for them. For the longest time, 3rd round was a swing and a miss, right? Yep. But it seems like 4th round is where it kind of feels like go for the highly athletic dudes in the first 3 rounds and then go back to the tape, in the later rounds. I could be wrong there, but I'm excited about Barryn Sorrell, man. I think he's going to be a stud.
I think he is too. I mean, you got a lot of potential there. Coming from a big school, dude that shows up, cares what he's doing, cares, that this is his job. This is what he's going to do to provide for his family, all that. So let's go out there and try to absolutely crush it. I think he's got the speed, the power for it. I'm kind of excited to see what Hap does there.
Yeah, and Jacob, I'm not sure if this was the same play or not, but Wes Hodkowitz put a similar tweet out, and it sounded a little bit different. Malik Willis has gotten the D-line to bite a few times on zone reads, but Barryn Sorrell will not be fooled. Would have been a big tackle for a loss. We know him coming from Texas. That was a big thing with those Texas defenders. They were really, really big on stopping the run, right? So what do you think about Barryn Sorrell? Do you think he's got a chance? I think he's going to be fairly heavy in this rotation in terms of the edge defensive room.
Yeah, I mean, I'll go on record saying that he's not an underdog, right? And he's not necessarily UDFA, obviously, or anything like that. But I do think that he maybe slid a little farther than most people would have thought, especially he was sitting there, at the actual draft, which was cool. We remember that moment. And the way that Matt LaFleur talks about him, and Matt LaFleur, maybe he'll have been known for some coach speak here and there, but not lately. He's pretty blunt about what he says about players and what he won't say about players. If he doesn't want to talk about a player, he'll just brush the comment off completely, almost make you feel stupid for asking it. When anytime he has a chance to talk about Barryn Sorrell, what has he said? He says he's a consummate pro already. I love the way he's preparing. He basically said there's no way he cannot succeed with the way that he's going about his day-to-day, professional career. He's done everything up until this point to succeed, I believe is also what he said. I'm not going to just see that as a coach speak. I think that actually means that, he is going to be, maybe it's not this year, maybe it doesn't splash into the league or whatever, but I do think that the amount of just work ethic that kid has, and you watch the way that he's so emotional with his family, with his friends, with his teammates. Wasn't it Matthew Golden and someone else that said, like basically everyone else, if you had to bring one teammate into the league with you, wasn't it like almost 90% of the whole team said, I'm taking Barryn?
Everybody.
Everybody said everybody they interviewed from Texas. They asked that question to anyone they interviewed, but everyone from Texas, every single player said Barryn Sorrell.
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy.
I potentially think he could be, stealing snaps from Mosby. I mean, from Enigbare. Yeah, it could be because we had Preston there at the beginning of the year, so there's going to be snaps that are moving around. I do think that he's going to be over 100. He's what, maybe 200 snaps I could think this year. So
yeah. I hope so.
Yeah. Michael Rodney at Packer Notes on X said, nice to see defensive tackle Nazir Stackhouse getting some reps with the 1s and 2s. The defense would really benefit if the undrafted rookie from Georgia can effectively replace TJ Slayton. Again, man, it's early, but we got a preseason game coming up next week. I'm going to be looking for Nazir Stackhouse, boys. That's who I'm going to be paying attention to. And it is he wearing 93? He is wearing 93, right? Correct me if I'm wrong. That is. Yeah. I get him and Brent's. I think Brent's is 91, I believe. Preston Smith's old number. But Stackhouse wearing 93. Somebody confirm for me in the chat if Nazir Stackhouse is wearing 93. But that's another player I'm going to be looking at. Probably going to get a lot of reps in a preseason game for sure. So,
can I just real quick? So the last we're talking about how we've been kind of striking gold the last few years. So obviously we got Barryn Sorrell in the 4th. In 2024, it was Evan Williams. In 2023, it was Colby Wooden. And we didn't have, after that, it was Zach Tom. After that, we did not have a 4th in the 2021 draft, nor in the 2020 draft, nor in the 2019 draft. And, okay, the streak breaks in 2018. We got Jamon Moore. But, hey, I'm just saying, as of late, we're doing pretty good.
Yeah. Yeah, that first draft that Goody had where he took MBS and Jamon Moore, boy, that was ugly. It was almost like he shifted too. Like, all right, we got to figure out how we missed so bad on these receivers, and it's got pretty darn good after that for sure. So, and it looks like we did get confirmation that he is number 93. I'm pretty sure. So, Nazir Stackhouse definitely somebody to pay attention to. Now we've talked about Kalen King a little bit, and he showed up a little bit today. Wes Hawkowitz put a tweet out: good coverage from Kalen King to break up end zone fade for Malik Heath. Guys, you know Malik Heath, strong hands. Had the highest, catch rate over expected last year, according to NFL Pro on the entire Packers roster. So he made the most out of his limited opportunities. Kalen King, man, we need that dude. We need that dude to step up. That would be absolutely awesome if he's the guy coming off the bench in terms of the cornerback position. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I would be happy for it just because he had that potential to be first round talent. Then it fell off. Then, you get a shot at him again. He's back here to prove it. You got some competition behind him with Haddon and everything. But I do think that even Bo getting over there and kind of putting some pressure on it, everyone's going to be fighting for that spot. And it's still a game to them, right? Let's get in on a pass breakup. Let's stay in this dude's, hip pocket, stay tight on the routes. I think that, every bit of this young talent that we can get succeeding is going to be huge for us. Obviously, we got a little bit older, but we have to stay young and stay active.
Yeah, definitely. And we had a question in the Patreon group here. Shout out to Tony Holman, since we were kind of talking about it. He says, does Bo make the 53 as a cornerback or as a special teams player? If you had asked me that a week ago, I would have been like, I don't think Bo's going to make the – man, it sounds like they really, really like Bo Melton to play cornerback this year. And, again, depth piece at corner, but still be that gunner on special teams. You guys, how do you feel right now, Jacob? Do you think Bo Melton makes the 53 if we were to have to pick today, or do you think we haven't seen enough from him at the cornerback position?
I think I'd be able to give you a much more definitive answer after the first or second preseason game, because I really do think they're going to give him a lot of opportunities. From what I can hear from, I don't think it's coach speak when we hear Hafley talk about him. Hafley, to his credit, I think is one of the most open-ended coaches that I've ever seen on the podium. He really does seem to take a moment to absorb the question and actually answer it in the best way that he can without spilling the tea too much. I don't know if you guys agree with that, but I really do think he'll literally, even when I think it's a dumb question, he'll kind of take a second. He goes, that's a good question. I got to think about that. And then he'll literally give you an answer that's an answer. It's not just, we got a lot of high hopes for this guy, blah, blah, blah. He'll kind of specifically tell you what he does right or what he does wrong and why he likes him. When he specifically was talking about Bo, I've mentioned this a few times, the backpedaling, the reaction, the ball skills, the fact that he's been on the other side of the ball. And I believe, chat, let me know if I'm wrong. Somebody, I believe in the other episodes previous, said that he was a cornerback that they converted to wide receiver once he got to college. And if that's the case, it's not like he's just completely rewriting a book that he's never seen before.
Right.
I really have some hopes. And I think, is he going to be a starter barring injury? Probably not. But could he be a 4th or 5th string wide receiver that also is an absolute stud on special teams? You don't think Rich Bisaccia wants him on that squad? You don't think Rich Bisaccia has any sort of pull with this team? If you guys don't think that, your eyes are closed.
And Emilio, I think it was Jason Wilde said that Brian Gutekunst made a comment at his presser the other day that they actually thought about playing Bo Melton at corner when they scouted him. Like, hey, if we get him on the team,
Yes.
we can play him at corner as well. So this is something they've been thinking about for quite some time.
Right.
Makes sense.
Yeah, Goody was mentioning, I think we were talking about that last night, that 3-cone, the shuttle, all those abilities that you would want to see in a quarter he has. He can change his hips and all of that. I was just hitting some of those there. With Bo, we had Holmes MD1, Bo's making the team as whatever. You can book that as well. H.E. Soder, an emergency wide receiver. William Herman, Bo is becoming that slash player, does it all at this point. That's so true. And to this, Holmes, half as a DB coach, he's not telling tales out of school. Bo can play corner. I think all great points about it. And then just finishing that up, Ben, this has to be one of the toughest cuts of 53 in years.
It's always stress. I can only imagine how stressful it is for the coaches. But when you talk about Bo playing, I think somebody said that cover 3 cloud, him covering deep.
I love that play.
People forget Bo ran a faster 40 than Christian Watson. I mean, that dude. Like, bro, it's not like he's just, he's a one-trick pony or this or that. Remember when they put him out there at corner that first day? And you guys remember I brung the screen down to where you couldn't see people's jerseys, and we were just watching the feet. I was like, just watch the feet. Remember I said, like Rex Ryan, just look at the feet, okay? And lo and behold, it's like, who do you think was better? And everybody was like, oh, that dude, hands down. That's Bo Melton. It was his footwork in the cornerback drill that looked the best of anyone. So you never know, man. It might.
Cheese curds make my stomach hurt all the time, but I do eat them though.
Love it. So Rob Domowski said practice number 8 highlights. You got one more there? He played corner in high school. And his brother obviously played corner throughout college, right? Maxwell. So practice number 8 highlights. Tight end John Fitzpatrick with his best catch at the camp. Made a sliding touchdown grab, sounds like. Defensive tackle Nazir Stackhouse moving up the depth chart, gets snaps with the 1. So that came from Rob Domowski. That's got to be legit, right? So Nazir Stackhouse running with the 1s is awesome. Short, non-pads practice, an hour, 40 minutes. So about roughly a little less than 20 minutes less than it has been here lately. Probably getting them rested up for family night tomorrow, obviously. So, and just while we're on that topic, let me go ahead and hit this real quick. Family night tomorrow. The Packers did tweet this out. I'm not sure why they didn't put a time, but it is official. They are going to be streaming it on Packers.com. Okay, so that's just got to go to Packers.com, pop it up on the old computer, put it on your TV. I'm going to have it on my phone, my cellular device. I told Mandy, listen, because we're going to be at that baseball game at Bristol Motor Speedway. I told her, I was like, we need all the extra battery packs we can find. We got like 3 or 4 of them floating around the house. I'm going to be streaming family night while we're sitting out there watching a baseball game tomorrow night, I promise. So, you guys make sure. What I may do, too, I might create some kind of – if you guys don't go live, I may create a stream and have it up so you guys can hop in here and chat like you did before. But if y'all want to go live, let it rip. So, does anybody know the start time when the festivities start? Jacob, you got any information on that? Emilio, you maybe? Because I don't know why they wouldn't put it in the tweet here. I guess they got
7:30 on the calendar that we have previously. I don't know how much we can trust that, but that would be yes.
That doesn't seem like right because don't they want to do the fireworks too? That usually needs nighttime, right?
Well, 7:30 what?
Oh, 7:30? I thought you said 2:30. I can't read.
No, 7:30 Central, right?
That sounds about right then.
Yeah. Okay, we'll go with that. Now, this schedule has been wrong numerous times. Right?
Yeah, very true.
No practice tomorrow, and then I find out, hey, they have practice today. All right,
6.
Where did you find your lame schedule? I don't know, Packers.com. That's right. Yeah. 6 Poopy says, let's go Packers, beat the Packers. There you go. All right.
Oh, we're going to give him some.
It was cool, Jacob. You listened to that, right? Where I think it was Matthew Golden was talking about how it's just impressive and it's kind of really cool that you're able to fill an entire stadium of the NFL. Like they do that in college, right? You get Penn State white and blue game, all that. You get all those colleges that have that, and they fill the stadium in the spring. Tennessee had it down here. That thing was packed right before Nico wanted to figure out the money, and you get that kind of atmosphere. And like Goody said, it gives all your players a chance to kind of play under the lights, get the nerves rolling. You got other eyes on you, just than the coaches, then the cameras, and there's meaning behind it. and then it's a good time. I love that you're able to kind of bring in that college feel to this, NFL franchise, which I'm sure the rookies love and the young guys are, dig that.
Yeah, Ben right here. I don't think I've seen it here, Ben. So thank you for coming in here. He says 70,000 fans on Family Night. No one else has that. I was just gonna say, like, there is just every team usually has a inter squad scrimmage. Maybe even they'll have another team coming over for a little bit of, it's kind of scripted scrimmages. There's nothing to get you ready for the NFL for these young guys, these UDFAs, than walking out to 70,000+ fans screaming. Absolutely screaming like it's the Coliseum. They're walking out there. If that's their first introduction before they even hit preseason, imagine how much more prepared they are going to be when they actually hit the bright lights of the NFL and the prime time goes live.
Yeah, definitely. All right, so let's do a quick little recap of practice today, and you guys know the drill here. I go in, ask Grok, hey, look, comb through all the articles, try to find some of the highlights from camp. So if you guys are watching this video and you didn't see our offensive breakdown or our defensive breakdown, just at the end of this video, you can fast forward right to the end and you'll see a link to all of those right there on the screen for you. Here we go. Overview. Practice 8 occurred on Friday, abbreviated in shells rather than full pads due to player soreness and fatigue. Coach Matt LaFleur stressed that training camps meant to be challenging to build resilience. The session focused on red zone work and served as a lighter rep before Saturday's family night. All right, let's talk about Jordan Love's performance. He was 10 of 15 on passing, including 3 consecutive touchdowns. Started strong with 6 straight completions, featuring a bullet pass to tight end Luke Musgrave and a step-up throw to wide receiver Romeo Doubs against defensive end Rashawn Gary's rush. So, Gary, I seen some tweets saying it would have been a sack for Gary, although you know how it is in practice. Sometimes the throw gets off there, right? He connected with Jaden Reed, Matthew Golden twice, and Dobbs. One pass to Golden involved a fake end around to McCole Hardman. How's that sound for it? A little fake end around, throw it out to Matthew Golden. In red zone drills, he attempted to pass to running back Emmanuel Wilson in the end zone, but it was off target. Wilson later left with the trainer, so we got to keep our eye on that. We may not see Emmanuel Wilson at family night tomorrow. Don't be too alarmed. Hopefully we'll get an update here in the next couple of days. Threw too high on a screen to Tucker Kraft, then found Golden again, incompleted to wide receiver Malik Heath, covered by Keyshawn Nixon, so maybe Keyshawn flashing a little bit, and delivered touchdowns to Dobbs, Heath, and tight end John Fitzpatrick on the bootleg. So you're hearing more and more bootleg in this camp. Am I wrong, guys? Like last year, even when Love was healthy, you didn't hear a whole lot of bootleg stuff because we were probably pressing in a duo. What if we come out this year and we go a little stretch, a little more outside zone and boot off of it? That'd be exciting.
Yeah. I mean, Amelia, what do you think a guy like Savion Williams, when healthy, could help with that sort of offensive scheme set? Just adding another absolute wrinkle to any defense that has to try to combat that.
Yeah, you kind of get the guy that do you want to cover him with a linebacker? Do you want to cover him with a corner? Do you want to bring a safety down? I think that he can definitely add to it, and he's kind of big, physical. You can get in between the numbers. You're not as worried about him, if he does get hit. Though I do like that we're kind of changing the platform on which Jordan Love's throwing this ball. I think Matt knows, and we talked about pistol last year. He coming into the offense. What is Waggle going to be it? Is Boots going to be it? That's what I remember was, really sell that fake, get the ball way out there, AR-12, put that thing way out there. Everybody sees it. And then the dude somehow just running, screaming wide open on a deep crosser. And I think that Matt already gets him to that point as well. Let's move the play. Let's take advantage of what Josh Jacobs did last year. Move the platform where you can get Jay Love going, and also, help out your O-line. The rush isn't as bad if they're worried about the run, all these things.
Yeah, definitely. All right, moving along. Plays of the day. Wide receiver Jaden Reed made the standout play despite a toe injury from Thursday. We'll get to an update there. Everybody knew that Jaden Reed missed yesterday and then came back. We'll give you an injury update at the end of this article here in a second. On a play-action pass from Love, Reed collided with rookie safety Jonathan Baldwin, fell and caught the ball on his back, potentially the best catch of camp. We kind of talked about that earlier. Matthew Golden continued to impress today. Every day that passes, he seems more and more comfortable. I've seen several tweets come out today saying, boy, this Matthew Golden looks different. He looks different. And, again, in the past, we've kind of harnessed those young receivers. Jaden Reed was the first one where we just kind of turned him loose. Guys, he was a second-round pick. He came out and turned his butt loose What do you think they're going to do to Matthew Golden? I think he's going to be a starter week 1. Injury report, new injuries. Wide receiver Sam Brown with an ankle, cornerback Nate Hobbs with a knee, running back Emmanuel Wilson unknown. That was the one where he left. We just kind of mentioned that, right? Cornerback Kamal Haddon with the hip, defensive edge defender Aaron Mosby with the groin, left tackle Rasheed Walker with the mystery groin, guard/tackle Travis Glover with the shoulder. Hold on, Emilio, it's going to be okay. Let me get this on the screen.
We'll love that. We'll love that. But that means he's out there just putting in the work. He's putting his body on the line for the team. Yeah, I don't know. I really hope he just never finds us, and he's gonna think it's just the fact that nobody.
Boom, right on top of the head.
That's all right though. That's all right. He'll be ready for week 1 preseason.
Yeah. Old injuries: Christian Watson with the knee, Marshawn Lloyd groin, linebacker Colin Oliver with the hammy, and offensive lineman John Williams with the back. Returning from injury, Jaden Reed with the toe, limited in team reps. All right. Wide receiver Dontavion Wicks with the calf, limited to individual drills. Left guard Aaron Banks with the back. Wide receiver Savion Williams with the concussion. So Savion is really getting worked right back into the fold. That's another guy. Come preseason, Jacob, we get to see Savion Williams out there on the football field, man.
I mean, that's honestly, as much as I love Golden, I know I'm not going to see a lot of him in the preseason. I'm very, very excited to see guys like, honestly, even Sam Brown, Cornelius Johnson, Julian Hicks, these type of guys that probably aren't going to make the team, but I have a lot of hopes that a guy like Savion Williams will. And I do think that they will, barring the concussion protocol and everything, it seems like they're being very cautious with the way they're bringing him back. So if I had to really guess and put my money on the table, I don't think that we're going to see as much of him as I'd like, because I do believe that they really do think that he could be a difference maker in this offense, a puzzle piece. I don't want to say a gadget guy. I really do think that he could be kind of a slash like they're talking about with where he can just, he's big enough to line up in a tight end sets. He's big enough to line up in the backfield and elusive enough to be a really good running back. We saw what he did in TCU. He was an absolute monster out of the backfield when he did the Wildcat. And basically they would just be give him the ball. They would give him the ball in any sort of short yardage dump off situation. And the guy doesn't go down with arm tackles. He just doesn't. And then when you think you got him considered that he can be an inline tight end / fullback, H-back kind of, do a threat, throw him out wide, throw him a deep fade route. He'll go up and do a catch point and absolutely grab the ball, come down with 2 feet in, look at you like, you're nothing. Yeah. I really do think he's an all around wide receiver in this league. What do you think, Emilio?
He's an athlete. He's the ATH. You're going to go ahead and sign those as quickly as you can. We'll figure out the position later. I mean, as long as he's got 90 speed, you're on the team. I mean, and that's it, right? You're never going to find – I mean, you can find it all in one person, right? But if you have options to go to, you're not stuck in one – you're not stuck in the mud with just one play or, one go-to or anything like that. It's perfect that Matt has options. It's perfect that, we're branching out. We have different things. We have kind of a slasher back, more of a power back. You got a bigger wide receiver. You got speed. You got route running. You just a little bit of everything. Somebody's a master at one of those, but maybe not. Maybe more of a jack at the rest of them. And I think it's perfect that we're able to kind of fluctuate between that.
His receiving is tough.
It is. Rob Demoski put my mind at ease with this whole Jaden Reed thing. All right, so he put a tweet out that came from Matt LaFleur. Packers coach Matt LaFleur said wide receiver Jaden Reed's foot was bothering him, something with his cleats, which is why he dropped out of practice yesterday. Today will be a lighter day with family night tomorrow and some injuries piling up. So it sounds like that's nothing. It was just Amelia, you know how it is, man. You buy new work boots at the beginning of the mowing season.
Brutal.
Takes a couple weeks to get them broke in, right?
Yeah, you got to wear them into the shower. So what you do is you go in there and you never showered with the cleats on. Yeah, you go. Yeah, go ahead and get them because you got to get them wet. That way they kind of form to the foot. Let them dry out again. That's a quick break in. But no, am I the only one that's ever done that? Chat, has anybody else done that? You've never. Nothing.
I mean, my dad used to break in a ball glove, you'd put the ball in there and maybe put it in the oven for a hot minute or something like that. But
what?
I've never heard.
Yeah, thank you, Clay. What?
You got hold to the wrong stuff.
I'll tell you what I did. This knucklehead. I was about 10 years old. Me and my buddy Ryan.
Thank you.
We found a couple baseballs in the creek beyond the fence where we played ball at. They were waterlogged right in the creek. We want to throw it, man. You ever get a waterlogged baseball, man? There, I mean, it's like throwing a brick. So, like, hey, let's just throw that thing in the microwave real quick. That's what we thought. Bro, their house stunk so bad. Right. It smelled like we had microwaved a carcass in there. Absolutely horrible. But anyway, all right. So practice highlights. I'll rattle through these and we'll get ready to wrap up here. Run game was inconsistent. Running back Chris Brooks stopped twice by cornerback Bo Melton. Hey-oh. And linebacker Tyron Hopper. A couple names we want to hear more about. Running back Josh Jacobs scored a 9-yard red zone touchdown, celebrated with the offensive line with the chest bump. Quarterback Malik Willis threw an impressive bootleg pass to tight end John Fitzpatrick for a sliding sideline catch, highlighting his arm strength. Rookie wide receiver Savion Williams had a jet sweep stopped by linebacker Jared Bartlett, but succeeded on a later end around with strong blocking. Backup center candidate, this caught me off guard. Check this out. Backup center candidate Donovan Jennings had another bad snap and was briefly pulled as he adapts to the position. I did not know they were trying Donovan Jennings at center a little bit, so that was interesting. It's only got him in there for a couple snaps. He screwed the pooch, and they said, "Get the hell out of here, bro. We're done with this." Let's move it along. Defensive end Kingsley Enagbare beat offensive tackle Kadeem Telford to stop running back Amar Johnson in the backfield. Love threw 3 red zone touchdowns. Willis added 2, including 2 tight end Luke Musgrave and wide receiver Julian Hicks, despite possible sack by Brenton Cox Jr.
Ew.
Final plays, defensive tackle James Esther stopped Johnson near the line. Defensive tackle Nazir Stackhouse stopped Israel Abanikanda. I'm getting better. Quarterback Sean Clifford overthrew Williams in the end zone. Right. Additional notes, lineup changes. Offensive line Jordan Morgan took most first-team left tackle reps with Walker out, alongside left guard Aaron Banks, center Elton Jenkins, right guard Sean Ryan, and right tackle Zach Tom. Offensive tackle Anthony Belton got some first-team left tackle snaps. Let's go. Secondary adjustments with Hobbs out. So imagine Hobbs is banged up on game day, right? He's inactive. This is what your cornerback room would look like according to today. Cornerback Keyshawn Nixon and Carrington Valentine on the outside, Javon Bullard in the slot, right? I feel good about that. And it looks like Nate Hobbs is your best corner right now, right? And the contract was suggested as well. So I like it. Rookie defensive tackle Nazir Stackhouse took second-team reps ahead of others. Again, our boy Rob Demoski said that he took first-team reps. I can't do this with you two giggling over it. What are we laughing about?
We can't bring it up, so don't ask us.
What is it? Go ahead.
We've gotten some responses about
we really can't.
We've gotten some responses about showering with cleats, and it's not like I'm saying go home and hop into the tub that Jacob soaks in after a long day's work.
What are you talking about? That's my job.
At school, at the facility, whatever. You just hop in there real quick. Let's get them drenched. You gotta get them. Really walk around on them when they're so squish. Get everything in there and let them dry out. But that's then the chat kind of took it its own way. We actually got them laughing, and then
don't worry, nobody's listening anyway.
Six was losing it. Chris said he's done it, so I'm good there. I'm covered.
Okay.
Chuck is laughing.
If Chris done it, you're saying that's a good thing?
Yeah. Well, I'll take it. I mean, that's 2.
Hey, all right. Daryl's done a bunch of stuff too. You going to do that too, Emilio?
No,
Unbelievable, man. This is why we can't have nice things.
No, real quick, let's go back. We'll be professional real quick. Ben asked a great question. Do you think that Enagbare could get cut? And then I also saw somebody else. Do you think he's trade potential?
That's a good question. Let's look at the depth chart here real quick. And again, I keep saying I'm going to update this, and I keep forgetting. But let's think about this. Is what scenario do we see here where Enagbare would be cut? Okay, we got Rashawn Gary, Lucas Van Ness, Barryn Sorrell. Those are locks, right? Colin Oliver, if he's healthy, will be a lock. Brenton Cox Jr., I feel like, is a lock. That's 5. So are we going to carry 6, right? So, yeah, if we only carry 5, there's a chance Enagbare don't make this roster. I'm going to pull up what we broke camp with. What do you think, Emilio?
Yeah. Dude, I don't know. It's tough. That, like Ben was saying earlier, man, I don't even know what we're supposed to do with this 53 cut because I know one person that's making the list. Okay.
We broke camp with 6 last year, so there is hope for it.
Ooh, all right.
So if we stick to that, right?
I don't know. What do you think,
he was playing through injuries last year. I will say that. I was a big Kingsley Enagbare guy when he first came out. I just haven't seen the progression, and I just feel like that I think he's kind of the definition of what we call a progress stopper, right? A guy that maybe, we have a lot invested in because he was because he was a fairly, any draft pick, I would say, is putting in draft capital, right? So I don't think that I think he was a 5th rounder. Chat, you can correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah,
but
5th or 6th, right?
Yeah, and I think he was definitely coming off some injury. Didn't he tear, I think, a ligament in the knee, and he just didn't quite – I think he even went on record saying, I don't know, I don't feel like I can trust it right now. Like, it just didn't feel –
My knee.
That is the absolute worst feeling.
Exactly. And, yeah, you've been through there, right? I've torn an LCL. I think Emilio's torn major ligaments and had to come back. It is kind of freaky, kind of scary to come back and absolutely try to put that foot in the ground and drive that, drive to have the kind of drive that you need to have an offensive edge or defensive end in this league is just unbelievable. It seems a lot easier to us sitting here on our couch drinking daddy sodas and eating chips, right?
Yes.
But it's not necessarily always going to be that way. So I personally would love to have Cox over Kingsley. Don't cut that.
Why did you have to pause like that?
I paused for drama, dramatic effect.
I got some advice for y'all. Take 2 weeks off, then quit.
This is what happens when Tim isn't here to keep it on the rails.
Absolutely.
One last question. This came from the Patreon group. Shout out to Randy Cleavers. He says, what are your thoughts on Marshawn Lloyd? Is he ever going to play? Is he injury prone? Listen, I don't like using that type of terminology there, Randy. I think it's more bad luck than anything. I mean, the guy had appendicitis, right? Like he had to have an emergency
appendectomy
last year that ended his year. Now, I understand it's like we're 3 injuries in. Actually, I think 4 injuries in now in his 2nd year. I don't know how you guys feel about it. I try to stay away from that whole, somebody's injury prone. They're made of glass and all that. Not that Randy's trying to be overly negative. It's just, I don't know, man. Sooner or later, though, you do got to look up and go. We say it all the time. You can't make the club in the tub. You cannot make the club in the tub. So, I don't know.
It's tough. I feel like it's just, some luck sometimes, right? You just can't get away from it. It's football. People are going to get hurt. It's just for some reason he keeps drawing the short straw. So hopefully at some point he can get past it, get over it, and, keep moving forward with the career.
Yeah. All right. Jake, if you got anything else, man, let's wrap this big bear up.
No, I think that's a fair thing to say. Like I said, I hate that moniker of labeling somebody glass. Guys, these NFL players, Marshawn Lloyd, for instance, is going against 11, or let's say 4 300-plus guys that are just aiming at his legs every single day. Like, I couldn't do it. I know Emilio probably could for a while, and then he'd get tired and need some cannolis. But, it's really unfair for us, again, to just be sitting here and say, oh, he can't do this, he can't do that. Has he had unlucky, streaks? I believe so, absolutely. But I really am pulling for the kid. Now, worst case scenario, I am very confident in our running back room. Even if you just keep the same that we had last year with Jacobs, with Wilson, hopefully he's going to be healing up. And I think Chris Brooks might be the most underrated player on the offense right now, which is crazy to say that. But Matt LaFleur trusted him down the stretch and in the playoffs.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, let's give a quick shout out to Josh Vallanningham becoming a member here on YouTube. United Bates with the super chat, and thank you guys for getting us to 5,000 subs. Y'all are awesome. Patrick Blum with the super chat said, "Whip it good." Clint the Armchair Quarterback gifting 10 Packer Fan Total Access memberships. Appreciate that. Hardy the Prophet with the $5 super chat, and he's going to be getting us some extra content from Hall of Fame weekend. Hardy the Prophet is the MVP tonight. And then Patrick with the gifting 1 Packer Fan Total Access membership. Really appreciate everybody playing their part, man. You guys are awesome. So we'll be back tomorrow night. Oh, also, if you want to get yourself entered into the giveaway, we're going to be doing an autographed Luke Musgrave rookie card. Really cool piece of memorabilia. All you got to do is be a member here on YouTube. Just hit the join tab. Or what I would recommend is become a member on Patreon. Go to patreon.com/Packer Fan Total Access or scan the QR code in the upper right. You get extra content over there. You get access to the questions for the show, all that good stuff. So if you have to choose between one of those two, I would suggest do the Patreon. But nonetheless, both of those will get you entered into the giveaways. Appreciate you, fellas. This was fun, man. We did good. Missed Tim, but we did good. So All right, everybody have a wonderful evening. We'll see you tomorrow. Listen, early show tomorrow. I'm going to get with the guys to see what makes the most sense. There's a chance there'll be a live stream during Packer Family Night. Don't bank on it right now, but we'll be going live either late morning, early afternoon tomorrow before I head out to Bristol and get out to the ball game. So everybody have a wonderful evening. As always, it's got to be the change we want to see in the world, and go Pack.
There we go. We're out.
Bye, guys.